Mishkoze.
Watsatste.
Bia, Shake.
We are strong.
Welcome to We Are Strong, Toronto Council Fire's BIPOC youth-led podcast, where we address systemic issues that we, as BIPOC youth, resist against every day. By highlighting the inequities faced in urban spaces, we hope to inspire a new generation of youth to be empowered to speak on their experiences with hopefulness and pride all across Turtle Island.
We are joined here with Gord Peters, host extraordinaire. Thank you for sitting down with us. My name's Eric, and this is our youth podcast co-host, Idalia.
Glad to meet you.
Yeah, you
Hi.
too. We've got some great questions we want to ask you, but first, if you'd like to introduce yourself and let us know who you are.
Yes, Nidishinzi Alidatat. So my name for my community is called One Who Ponders During a Situation.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
And what community is that?
I come from Eelünaapéewi Lahkéewiit. It's in southern Ontario. It was formerly known as Moravian of the Thames under the Indian Act. When we changed our name to our own traditional name some time ago, and so that's what we're known as.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And what would you say your role and responsibility is to the community at a large?
Well, I've spent majority of my life working for the communities in one form or another. I've been mostly an advocate, but you know what? In our teachings, it says that there's an eagle that sits on top, that tells us, of dangers, but that eagle also tells us of opportunities. And so what we've taken is that role on is that we look for opportunities for our communities to be able to move forward. But we also remind our communities of certain things that are of danger to the community, or that will diminish any of their inherent rights, or that will diminish any of the treaty relationship that they have.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Incredible. That was so incredible what you said. I loved every word of it. So the theme of this event is revillaging, which comes in many different forms. For us, it comes from empowering our future generations with peace, power, and righteousness through an understanding of the ways of our ancestors. What does revillaging mean or look like to you?
If I was to look forward, and I would say there's a time when, first of all, that we would start to be able to have conversations amongst ourselves about what's important in our lives. Because right now, there's so many things that we do that are not important. We have to learn how to get along with each other. We have to learn how to trust each other with judgments that we make and how we see ourselves moving forward. And I think for the biggest part that I've come to understand in my life is that we have to work with our families. If residential school has impacted virtually every family that I know of, the intergenerational, the 60s scoop, so rebuilding our families is a huge part of this revillagization. Our families are fractured. We need to be able to work at it, and we need to be able to get them to a place where they can have those conversations about what needs to be settled from the past, and so that they can go forward together to build strong families. And when we have strong families, we'll have strong communities.
Wow, amazing. And what message would you like to leave with the community today?
We have unbelievable power. I shouldn't say power because that's another word that's described elsewhere. But we have incredible abilities and capacities to do things that we don't even use. We're just starting to be able to try to figure out how our culture plays a major role in everything that we do. The foundations of our people are unreal. We have known and we have practiced peace in our world for hundreds and hundreds of years before Europeans came to our shores. We built treaties amongst ourselves. We practiced trade and commerce. Today people talk about food security. Yeah, absolutely. We've got to be able to take back all those things. And so I say that it's within our grasp if we choose to do it. And we have that capacity, we have that ability to be able to do it. And it's going to be an exciting future for us because there's a lot of really good things happening in our world right now.
Yeah, food security and healthy food security too, with like those
Absolutely.
natural foods and
Absolutely. It's. I think it's the wave of the future. I mean, I read some of the pieces by some of the scientists, including Suzuki, who say we're the first generation to have the effects of climate change, and we may be the last generation right now that has the ability to repair the earth. I guess, if humans weren't here, the earth would just simply repair itself.
Yeah, there you
But
go.
because humans are here, we haven't. In our teachings, it tells you how we're supposed to be able to interact with all of creation, and so that's a huge part of being able to learn and understand our relationships. So that it's not just human; it's about the rocks, and it's about the fish and the trees, and it's about everything that so freely gives to us, so that we can sustain our own lives. That we need to be able to honor and have relationships with.
Yeah, and you can see that all over today with like the protests that all the indigenous groups are going and doing with stopping logging and the pipelines and things like that. But nobody really talks about it or highlights it on the news. And yet we see our groups out there trying to stop these terrible things from affecting our planet.
Absolutely. There's something that people don't understand. When our people are fighting for fresh water and clean air, when they're doing ceremonies, we're not just doing ceremonies for ourselves or those people that are around the fire at the time. We're doing ceremonies for everybody, because we're doing ceremonies for all of creation. So everybody that exists is part of those ceremonies and that messages that we're trying to send at the time. So I'm hopeful that this European civilization that's come here, because they've got to really take a real stand. The people, not the governments. Because governments I think are way behind. People have to take a stand, because right now Western civilization is killing us. Our water, our food sources, all of those things, and so it's up to people. People got to get active, and they've got to get stronger, and they've got to have stronger voices, and they've got to stand up, and they've got to be able to not take no for an answer.
Yeah, powerful. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
That was incredible. So maybe tell us a little bit more about your role today and how it went with
My role
MCing.
Host.
My role up here as MC is good, because Ava and I have a lot of fun. We're old friends. We've known each other for many decades, and we work together. And I think about all the occasions in our lives that we've had that we worked together. And we've taken on projects. We've taken on the government so many times. We've lobbied together.
Oh, wow.
We've stood our ground in so many places. And so today, it's all about our people. It's all about the recovery. It's all about our resistance and our ability to be able to take back what's ours. So that's why we're here. That's why we celebrate. And that's what we do for ourselves, and what we do for our families and our community. Take back what's ours.
Yeah, absolutely. Every event I've been to, I think I've seen the two of you been hosting, and you have such that great chemistry where you can go back and forth at each other and really host. So I just want to say thank you so much. It's been so great listening to you the past 3 days.
Great, thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem. All right, miigwech.
Miigwech.